Um, I worked really hard to prepare this service, these songs. What am I saying? Worked really hard this week, and I was like super organized, and I spent a long time working on all the charts thing, and then this morning it was so, I don't know, weird morning, and so I left it all I left it all at home, and I don't know, I'm just off the charts today. So. Anyway, good morning. If you're new here, that was a joke. We have bathrooms in that building. We have stickers for the kiddos if you're gonna sign them into the kids area later. And yeah, I think we're gonna start with the chiming of the hour. Here we go. If you are able, would you stand with us as we sing this morning? Oh, come. Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye, oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come, behold, born the King of Ages. Jesus, to thee be all now in flesh appeared. Oh, come let us adore Him. Oh, come let us adore Him. Oh, come let us adore Him, Christ our Lord. Wonderful Counselor, His name shall be. Everlasting Father, His name shall be. Prince of Peace, mighty God, His name shall be. Emmanuel will praise your name forever. We'll praise your name forever. We'll praise your name forever. Christ, our Lord, we'll praise your name forever. We'll praise your name forever. We'll praise your name forever. Christ, I love His name. His name shall be Wonderful Counselor. His name shall be Everlasting Father. His name shall be Prince of Peace, mighty God. His name shall be Emmanuel. Oh, come let us adore Him. Oh, come let us adore Him. Oh, come let us adore Him. Christ,
I will read the top line. If y'all could read the bold part in the ambiguous color. Beloveds, let us prepare for the advent of Christ. Choosing hope, we remember salvation is always near. The world offers many opportunities to be overwhelmed by chaos. Committing to the way of peace again, we choose none of them. Tending to the spiritual hunger all around, we lean toward the promises of God.
Embracing joy, we welcome the miracle of God with us.
Stay alert. Remember, the holy arrival comes at an unexpected hour. The
Inbreaking of love is always a mysterious encounter.
As we prepare to welcome the divine, even if they arrive late at night, road weary, humble, looking nothing like we expected, We will kindle the
fires
fires
of hope, peace, joy,
and love,
and
and
await
await their arrival. Mysterious One, keep us attentive to your presence around and within. Do not let us get distracted by what numbs or overwhelms. Encourage us in all that makes us alive to you and the sacred possibilities for transformation before us. Amen.
Where the spirit of love is, there is freedom. I am free. Amen. Where the spirit of love is, there is freedom. I am free. Amen. Oh, where the spirit of love is, there is freedom. I am free. Where the spirit of love is, there is freedom. I am free. Would you stand if you're able? Oh, free at last, free at last. Thank God, oh, loving we are free at last. And all our sins are in the cross. Thank God, oh, loving we are free at last. Oh, free at last, free at last. Thank God, oh, loving we are free at last. And all our sins are in the cross. Thank God, oh, loving we are free at last. And where the spirit of love is, there is freedom. We are free. Amen. Where the spirit of love is, there is freedom. We are free. Amen. Where the spirit, oh, where the spirit of love is, there is freedom. We are free. Amen. Where the spirit of love is, there is freedom. We are free. Amen. I love you, God. Your mercy never fails me. In all my days, I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
Good morning, friends. Okay, we're good? We on? I don't think so. Talk loud. There you go. Now we're good? All right. So, I am now solidly in my 40s. And in fact, I was just thinking, I met some of you in my 20s. Isn't that amazing? Look at that face. And I'm in my second decade of ministry post-seminary. And I'm still trying to figure out what love is. Like really, like figure it out. As I was trying to figure it out this week, I found myself, obviously, thinking about the physics concept of the three-body problem. You too, I'm sure. Actually, I'm terrible at science and math. It wasn't my thing in school, but I've been fascinated by this concept of the three-body problem since I came across it a couple of years ago. Had to look it up. The three-body problem refers to a concept in physics where the motion of three celestial bodies, like planets or stars, interacting gravitationally with each other cannot be precisely predicted due to the chaotic nature of their orbits. So basically, the idea is if you have two bodies in the heavens spinning or whatever, they can use physics to determine their exact paths. But if you put one more in there, it's chaos. You can no longer predict what's going on. Physics, of course, calls this a problem. When I look at it, I think I see a solution. I think I see the definition of love. The more I live, the more like time can feel like what Nietzsche called a flat circle. Essentially, time is just repetitive. Everything we've been through, we'll keep going through. The way this world functions, it's just going to keep functioning that way. Nothing's ever going to freaking change. Might makes right. The powerful do what they will, and the weak suffer what they must, right? This was kind of that concept of we are just on a tragic loop throughout history. And I think that's true until you consider the three-body problem, until you consider that primal force in the universe that we call God, who's also known as love, always interjecting into every single moment of our days and our lives and whispering to us, hey, let's create a new reality. Let's turn this place upside down. Let's do something novel and brand new. Hey, that person over there that your tribe says is unclean and untouchable, what if you befriended them? Hey, that person that wants to get in traffic, and even though they drove to the very front of the line and they knew they were supposed to merge 2 miles back there, Heather Henzelka, she hates these people because they think they're so special. What if we let them in because we don't know their story, and maybe like this is a new town for them, and like they don't know what's going, and they're stressed out about the holidays, and they're going to be late to work, and if they're late to work one more time, they're in trouble, whatever. We don't know, but what if we created a new world, even in our own minds, where we say, hey, maybe something's going on with them, and I should let them in. Am I dabbling a little too much in your life right now?
They're actually doing it right.
With that
They're
example?
doing it right legally.
They're doing it right?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
going to the front to merge?
Yes, it is faster.
Zipper merge.
We are the problem.
I want to get us back on. Let's merge all of our. I'm way off my limits here. Give away something that you love. I just saw this a few minutes ago. I'm not going to embarrass the people, but I saw it a few minutes ago. You give away something you love, and it's not like the love for this object now doubles. It becomes like exponential. It's not worth 2x what it was. It's immeasurable, the love of this object that you received that was beloved by someone else. We have all these opportunities throughout our day to live, again, what physics calls the three-body problem, I think is the three-body solution to this crazy, chaotic world. I think we see an example of it as well. Lastly, and I'll wrap up this little sermonette with a baby born into a world ruled by empire who invites us to live incredibly differently. We're headed toward that. It's beautiful. We're still in the penitential season of Advent for a little bit more. And I invite you, as we lead up to Christmas, listen to that still small voice of God saying, hey, let's turn this place upside down. I invite you at this time to join me in the Liturgy of Communion. I'll read the regular font. We'll all join in the fuchsia. God is within you. Lift up your hearts. Join in the blood of community. Let us give thanks for the blessing of life. Together we raise our voices in gratitude. Our God, we stand in mystery, trying to figure out what love is, trying to live it in this world, and believing that you are that primal force that's calling us to inject new possibilities and new worlds into every situation, every relationship. Give us courage to do that work. May your Spirit fill us with creativity as we do that work. And as we practice communion this morning, help us to take that spirit of communion beyond here and into the world that is so hungry for it. Great is the mystery of faith. Christ has reimagined death, and we join him in bringing heaven to earth. Amen. Of course, everyone is welcome to join us in communion this morning. The way we happen to practice it here is we will go row by row, starting at the front. We practice intinction, meaning you'll get some bread, and you'll dip it into the juice, and then you'll consume it as you are led. As you're led, please join us.
Christ whose glory fills the skies, Christ the everlasting light, Son of righteousness arise, and triumph through these shades of night. And come thou long awaited one, in the fullness of your love, and loose this heart bound up by shame, and I will never be the same. So here I wait in hope of you, all my souls longing through and through. They spring from on high below. They start my heart and is the one until the love in me is gone, and joyless is the evening song until Emmanuel has come. So here I am in hope of you. All my soul is longing through and through. Days spring from on high beneath. Day star in my heart beneath. So here I am in hope of you. All my soul is longing through and through. Days spring from on high beneath. Day star in my
All right, you kids want to join me up here? Okay, so today I am going to need a volunteer who is 7 or older. Okay, you're going to volunteer without knowing? Okay, great, very great. Okay, so come over here. I'm going to use your help. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something to draw, and then everyone else is going to guess what you've drawn, okay? But it's going to be a secret. Don't tell anyone. Okay, oh wait, I forgot to tell you the rules. You have to keep your eyes closed. All right, go for it. Okay, let's turn it around. Any guesses? What? A potato man. What do you think? A person walking on the street. A smiley face. Okay, do you want to see how it turned out? Would you like to try again with your eyes? Yeah. Okay, okay. Lots of detail, good job. Okay, can y'all tell this time? Has to do with Christmas, yes.
Jesus.
Yes, good job. It was much easier with your eyes, right? Okay, does anyone else want to give it a shot? Okay, Cozy, you come up. Thank you. Okay, so let me tell you what you're going to draw. Okay, now let's see, you're right-handed? Which hand do you write with? Which hand do you normally write with? That one? Okay, so you're not allowed to use that hand. Ready? See if you can. Yeah, we'll start to find out. Okay. Mhm. You guys are gonna have your work cut out for you with the guessing. Okay, you ready? Any guesses? Yes. No.
A goat.
A goat? You guys are kind of on the right track though. What? No? That's a
A bird.
bird? No.
Donkey that got married.
That's a good guess, but not the donkey.
The continent of Asia.
The continent. Also a good guess. Okay. A sheep.
Camel?
You were all, not a camel. Okay, do you want to try again with your other hand? Okay, let's see how that goes.
They do not know that reference.
These artists are very serious. Yeah.
This
This is a little bit longer than I expected.
She's shading it in.
Can we guess now? Okay. What do you guys think it is now? Yes. A donkey. Oh, close. Layla? No? A deer, a reindeer. She knew. Mom knew. Okay, good job, Cozy. Do you guys want to do one more? One more. You want to be it? Okay, come on. Okay, come on. Last one.
Okay. Can you? What hand do you write? Okay, is that the truth? He's kind of both.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Can you? Like this. Okay, you can't use those three fingers. You can use this. Got it? Okay.
All right. Do you need me to hold it for you?
Whoops.
How's it working out? Bad. Okay, can we guess? Are you still, we gotta add some details, okay. Ready? Okay. Oh, yes. Gingerbread man, congratulations. You're the first person to do. Great gingerbread man, good job. Okay, you don't have to do it with your whole hand since we got it. So, what do you think? Is it easier to get to use all your body parts when you draw?
No.
No, it's not. Okay, so I have a really quick story, which is that once upon a time, God created the world. And she loved the world so much, and she especially wanted all the people to know that she loved them. But God's a spirit. God didn't have a body, so it was a little bit hard for her to say it. So she had to think outside the box. So to let the people know that she loved them, God did things like create wildflowers and sunsets and strawberries. And she thought, surely the people will get it now. I love them so much. But they didn't quite understand. So then she drew rainbows in the sky, and she made babies impossibly cute all the way down to their teeny tiny toes. And she painted the night sky with stars. And still the people didn't get it, that they were loved. And because they didn't understand that they were loved, they forgot how to love one another. And this made God very sad. So then God cooked up an idea, and God thought, you know what I need to really draw a clear picture of how much I love this world? I need a human body. I need arms to hug people. I need a mouth to tell stories. I need hands to build things and heal and bake and share bread. And so then God sent God's Spirit all wrapped up in a tiny baby named Jesus. Yeah. To help us remember that we are so, so loved. And so every year at Christmas and Advent, we celebrate God's grand idea to send love in the form of a little baby and to risk being inside a human body so that we would know just how much God loves us. The end. All right, if you guys, anyone who is, okay, we're gonna switch it up a little bit. If you are 10 or under, you can go back in the kids' building if you want to, okay? Used to be 8 and under, but if you're 10 and under, you can go back there. We have some fun stuff for you guys.
When Matthew was talking about the 3-body problem, I got real nervous because I thought he meant our vocals this morning. So you used to be a lurker. We want to get to know you. It's time for a deeper look.
Technically, Ross has been here since before you could be a lurker because we didn't always stream online. So, yeah. Okay.
Listen in a little closer. We want to get to know you. It's time for.
This is Ross, and I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell us a little bit about him.
Supposed to wipe in between every.
Oh, between every, okay, let's do it.
So I'm Ross. Like Willie mentioned, my family has been here for 7 years actually. We started right after Charlotte was born in the Baptist Children's Home. Started visiting, so it's been a while. Yeah. Yeah. In the chapel, yeah. That was our first visit. So. Yeah, so I've been married to Kristen for 16 years. We have 4 kids, Eleanor, Charlotte, Gideon, and Lucy. And yeah, like I mentioned, we've been here 7 years. I love music, as you can tell, so I'm playing guitar. Avid record collector. I think Kristen and I used to average 20 or 30 concerts a year, pre-kids. So it's been a while. And yeah, by day I'm a brand marketing manager, and I think, yeah, it's a good favorite concert. There's a lot to choose from. Probably seeing Bon Iver at the, what was it called? It's the concert hall. No, no, here in Austin. Wow, yeah. Yeah, Bass Concert Hall, thank you. So that was quite a while ago, but yeah, it's probably my favorite concert. Favorite child? I think Eleanor is the only one that's in here. So.
Okay, so Ross is someone who's gonna go so quickly, but that's why he gets a few extra questions that I didn't warn him about. Okay, but the next official question is to tell us a quirk or something that, people wouldn't know about you unless you told them.
Yeah, we don't have to. I couldn't think of a quirk, but just a fun fact, I, in college, interned at Goatee Records, which if you grew up in the church, you may know as the record label that former DC Talk, Toby Mac owned. Yeah. So that was like a Southern Baptist kid's dream to do that in college. So. Favorite genre of book? I didn't mention that, but I read quite a bit. I'd say like top 3 favorite genres. Probably like science fiction, fantasy is number 1. Close second is theology, and then probably third is science.
The Lost Queen or Iron
Ooh.
What was the question?
Your question.
Because I knew he speaks in a way that he repeats back the answer. And then
Yeah,
he's-
sorry. Sorry, Rick, you'll have to say it again.
The Lost Queen series or Iron Flame?
You know, I don't think I ever actually read the Lost Queen series. Did I? I actually like.
Akatar.
No, I'm totally blanking on the Throne of Glass.
Throne
Oh.
of Glass.
I think that's a better series than
Agreed.
Avatar. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh, last question, last road question. What is your favorite series?
I think Tolkien. I think Lord of the Rings is probably I think everything else kind of pales in comparison to the original. So
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm getting off track.
No,
Are
you're
you
good.
a hobbit, an elf, a human, or a dwarf?
Elf.
Oh, he was ready.
So five on the Enneagram. Yeah.
Okay.
Thought about this.
Okay. The last question. What are you excited about, passionate about right now? What's giving you energy and joy?
Yeah, I love to learn. I love learning. I love reading. The specific thing I've been learning recently is a lot about just generative AI and using GPTs. Recently, I created one where I took the textbook from like a therapeutic framework called ACT, Acceptance and Commitment Therapy. I put it into like a custom GPT project and use it as kind of like my personal therapist. So I can kind of chat with it and say like, hey, I had a bad day at work today. Like, this thing happened. Like, can you kind of help me think through that? And so, yeah, so it kind of comes back at me. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I'm gonna be out of a job.
Yeah.
I'm not friends anymore.
yeah. Yeah.
Anything else you want to share with us?
I mean, I think the one thing I would share is just how much this community has meant to me personally and to my family. And it's hard to believe that it's been 7 years that we've been here, but it has been. It's been really nice to have a family through the last 7 years.
Okay, so nice to meet you. And I guess today we discovered a designation. There's like original founders, and then there's ELM, original location members. So you were in the original location. Wow. Ooh, okay. Thank you, Ross.
Good morning. Our reading this morning is from Hebrews chapter 10, verses 5 through 10, and I'm reading from the Inclusive Translation. And this is what Jesus said on coming into the world. You who wanted no sacrifice or oblation prepared a body for me. In burnt offerings or sacrifices for sin, you took no pleasure. Then I said, just as it is written of me in the scroll of the book, God, here I am, and I have come to do your will. In saying that God does not want burnt offerings and sacrifices, which are offered according to the law, and then saying, I have come to do your will, Jesus abolishes the first covenant in order to establish the second. By God's will, we have all been sanctified through the offering of the body of Jesus Christ once and for all. We hear the voice of God in these words.
All right. We didn't plan this, but I'm going to kind of talk about physics in love a little bit. it won't be too heavy. So this is a story on playing catch with my dad and learning how to love and holding the quiet. There may be nothing that my dad and I have done more than throw a ball back and forth. In the spring, we throw the baseball back and forth in the street, backing up further and further to kind of test the limits of our athletic abilities. I could always tell even before it landed in my glove when my dad had thrown it just a little bit harder than usual. Kind of a little silent challenge wrapped up in a curve, like he was saying, "All right, son, can you handle this?" Whenever I would drop the ball, he'd make an explosion sound. He'd go, and I'd yell, "Dad, stop." And he'd laugh at my discomfort with failure. My perfectionism and my intensity made me a better than average athlete, but made me very fragile to any criticism, even a playful explosion sound. In the fall, we'd throw the football in the living room during the commercials during Monday Night Football. And often, some candle or vase would get broken, and we'd try to put it back together, and my dad would whisper, "Don't tell Mom." That was our sacred ritual, standing some distance apart, tossing a ball back and forth, each throw a subtle conversation of trust and connection. And it never occurred to me then that there would come a time where that connection would feel shaky, and that distance between us would feel too vast for a game of catch. All right, at the risk of overanalyzing possibly the simplest game ever invented, let's talk about the structure of how catch works. So first, you need another person. You technically can play catch by yourself. I often pace around the backyard, throwing the ball up and catching it while I think. But that's, I don't think, technically called catch. It's called sad. Second, you need some space between you and the other person. This may sound obvious, but it's crucial. Too close, and the game falls apart. And then third, you need a ball of some kind. If you're me and my dad, then a football is preferable. This is what you use to bridge the space between the two of you. And the better you get, the more creatively you can kind of figure out how do we want to arrange this and bridge the space, and how far and how creative can we get. This is the structure of catch. It's simple, yet I think profound. I think that's why it's lasted through the ages. I think it's why parents and children, probably especially fathers and sons, have been drawn to this game since the dawn of time, because in this action of tossing a ball back and forth, I think we are physically metaphorizing the ways we toss so much back and forth between us. Our fears, our desires, our passions, our interests, our beliefs and ideologies, our hopes and dreams. Or maybe it's just because men are simple and we like the hit of dopamine from successfully catching a ball. But on this Advent Sunday of love, I believe it's the perfect representation of what love looks like. So, here's 3 parts. Part 1, you need another person. A few months into my faith deconstruction, after beginning to tear through books on the history of religion and Christianity, books on psychology and anthropology that were helping me understand my previous beliefs and form new ones, I longed to share these ideas with my dad. My dad is a pastor. He's been a pastor my whole life. He's the one who handed me his Christian faith. So I really wanted to talk about what I was learning and see what he thought. I wanted to throw the ball back and forth. But this time the ball wasn't a football. Now I wanted to throw back and forth the ideas like Paul Tillich's God as ground of being, or Alfred North Whitehead's process theology, or Joseph Campbell's ideas on the power of myth, or Thomas Merton's true self. I was tossing these ideas around in my head, and I wanted to throw them back and forth with my dad. The problem was, when we would talk, the intensity I was throwing these ideas at him was not like we were playing catch, and it was more like I was wanting to play dodgeball. This usually happened at the Tavern. It's this 100-year-old pub in the heart of Austin. It's this old historic architecture that kind of stands out in the middle of all these modern buildings, kind of like a stubborn refusal to acknowledge change. It's this cavernous pub with old creaky wood that makes it a perfect place to watch football in the fall. That, along with the dozen TVs you can see from any seat in the house. And it's also exactly midway between our 2 houses. And it's at this midway spot that we meet up at that we try to find some middle ground between us to connect about our faith and my changing beliefs while we kind of pretend to watch a football game. And the football game on TV is an apt metaphor for our conversation. Often there's some aggression on my side and some bruises on his. And I peg him with challenging topics like, all right, Dad, can you handle this? And he doesn't engage with my argument like I want him to. He drops the ball. It's always me forcing the conversation towards faith and beliefs, and he rarely engages as much as I want him to. That bothers me. I think, why does my dad have to be so rigid? Why is he so fragile, so triggered by my new ideas? Doesn't he see how incredibly life-giving these ideas are for me? I so want my dad, my pastor dad, to talk with me about my evolving faith. I want him to ask me about what I'm learning. I want him to bring up this topic for once. I want to feel like he's interested and curious and that he wants to understand me. And all this frustration and bitterness is really covering up something deeper in me. I'm scared. I'm scared that I won't feel close to my dad the way that I always had for the first 27 years of my life. I'm scared that the closeness we enjoyed when we believe the same things will slowly fade. I'm scared that he won't understand me or accept me. I'm scared that we'll drift apart as our beliefs evolve in different directions. I'm scared that we'll become one of those fathers and sons who can only talk about the game. Did you see the game last night? Yeah. Nail biter. Yep. Yeah. That's scary. And my way of dealing with that mix of fear and anger is to insist that we address it. I tell myself this is the mature thing to do, even the loving thing to do. I won't let our relationship drift. I'm going to fight for it. And fight I do. And I'm breaking more than candles and vases. Don't tell Mom. Part 2, the space between us. Sue Johnson is a psychologist whose work built on attachment theory, and she found that adult couples can develop avoidant attachment or anxious attachment styles with their significant other. While avoidant attachment is characterized by withdrawal and a lack of vulnerability, avoidant attachment interprets the distance in the relationship like a threat and can lead to an emotional intensity that overwhelms their partner in trying to close that gap between them. Hi, I'm Brandon, and I have an anxious attachment style with my dad. I'm so afraid that I'll never be able to close the gap between me and my dad. I'm so afraid that we'll never be close like we used to, that I've become kind of the classic stereotype of the crazy ex-girlfriend. I'm clingy and obsessive. I'm constantly texting him saying, hey, we need to talk, it's important. Just so I can bring up theology and religion. I've got dramatic mood swings from loving to angry, an inability to let go of the past. He doesn't know it yet, but we're meant to deconstruct together. I think it's often fear that leads us to attack or to distance ourselves from others. I think it's fear that our differences are too big to cross. Fear that we won't be able to connect, to understand each other, to see or to be seen. But love actually requires that we recognize and allow each other our differences. Attachment theory has found that being too far apart or too close together is not conducive to a healthy relationship. We have to have space between us. Otherwise, the whole thing falls apart. Dr. Sue Johnson's work found that what was needed for couples, or in this case, a father and son, is vulnerability and safety. When partners turn towards each other and risk opening up and are met with empathy, their bond can deepen. They can allow for you to be over there and I can be over here. But the space between us must be safe and filled with vulnerability and empathy. Theological dodgeballs probably aren't the best tactic for safety and empathy. But it's hard for me to stop. I'm afraid that if I stop forcing conversations about our beliefs, we'll lose connection. The ideological chasm between us is too big. I'm afraid we'll never be a dad and son, laughing with ease, playing catch in the backyard again. Part 3, the ball. The central Christian narrative is about God bridging what I think of as the ultimate distance, the distance between the divine and humans. As far as I can tell, this was a new idea in human history, for anyone to imagine that this divine chasm could be crossed. It was a distance thought too big to connect across. The best that could be done was to try and bridge it by following the law. The lectionary text today was Hebrews 10, which said, "Sacrifice and offering you did not desire, but a body you prepared for me." I think the sacrifice and offerings commanded by the law serve mainly to highlight the distance and differences between us humans and God. They pointed to the space between us. And recognizing that difference is a healthy part of a relationship, but it doesn't do much to help us actually connect across that difference. The writer of Hebrews says, "Sacrifice and offerings you did not desire, but a body you prepared." To actually be in a relationship, to love, we have to find a way to connect across our differences with vulnerability. And in all the vulnerability of a human infant, God throws the ultimate backyard pass. And a young teenage girl catches it. The men, of course, were slower to catch on, too caught up in competition to probably notice the divine lob that God had thrown. Just like catch requires space between us, love requires that we allow each other our differences. But how different is too different? Can we become so different that it's not possible to relate? Can we become too polarized to connect? Love may require that we allow our differences, but how far is too far to still be able to play catch and to connect? In my view, God answers this question by throwing the ultimate throw across the chasm between humans and the divine. And if it's possible to love across that distance, what new world have we just entered into? I see much of the New Testament as guys who seem to be stuck in their head and much slower than Mary, trying to work out what this might mean. Maybe there's no more Jew and Greek in God. Maybe we're all children of God. Maybe in Christ all are made righteous. Yeah, cool. And maybe all that's required is the vulnerability to just turn towards each other and catch the ball like Mary did. For the past several years, my dad and I have continued to meet up at the Tavern in the fall. That place between us, that consistent pub, stubbornly holding on to the past in a changing city. We break bread, drink beer, and catch up while pretending to watch boys play catch on TV. It's our sacred ritual. After countless dodgeball games at the pub, resulting in little more than relational bruises and emotional broken bones, I put down my dodgeballs. It was time to try something new, so I asked my dad, "Dad, how are you doing?" He said, "Fine. Did you see the game last week?" I said, "I did. It was a nail biter." Then we just held the quiet. After some light conversation about our work and a few pauses to watch the game on TV, he turned and he asked me, "You been reading anything lately? Any new favorite theology books?" He threw me a pass. And I tried my best to field it and throw it back, softly this time, with a bit of empathy. And we began learning to play catch again. These days, I'm not as afraid that our differences will pull us apart. I can see that allowing them, even respecting and sometimes even admiring them, is necessary for being in a relationship. Now, I actually just get to enjoy my dad. I kind of enjoy our differences, even the parts of us that deviate quite a bit, because those differences are what make it possible for us to play a really interesting and meaningful game of catch. A prayer for this Advent Sunday of love. May we not let our fear of our differences lead us to wall off from each other or to engage in dodgeball. May we find ways to bridge the spaces between us, allowing our differences while we creatively connect across them. May we throw and catch with vulnerability and empathy, creating safety and the possibility for connection. And may we trust that love can happen across even the largest differences and distances. Thank you.
Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat, repeat the sounding joy. No more let sin and sorrows grow, nor thorns infest the ground. He comes to make his blessings flow, far as the curse is found. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love.
That was pretty. The music was so lovely. It's so nice when we get the treat of a full band, too. But you guys singing together? You should form a group. Just saying, it's like we did. You could be off the charts.
Not good.
What is happening? I was really absorbed. Thank you, Brenda, for just thanks for sharing. It was so good and vulnerable. We love it. Just a couple of announcements. We'll be back here on Tuesday for our candlelit Christmas Eve service. If you don't know, we have a cookie and cocoa hour before the service at 4:30. So please bring a plate or platter of cookies made from scratch. Just kidding. They don't have to be, but just saying, we can all tell when we take bites. I'm joking. But if this stirs something, I'm really joking because I'm not doing that. Like, personally, I don't have time for that. But like, if you do have time and there's a seed of spirit moving within you and you do have time, please make those cookies. And if you don't have time, you can go to the store and put them on the table when you walk in at 4:30. Then we'll have our service. Okay, so we have a little note about breaking down. If you're able to help us break down, we have a smaller crowd today, but we have to break all this down just to set it all back up in 2 days because they're having a wedding here today, so we couldn't leave it up. So if you were able to come help kind of box up the Christmas stuff, I bet Sarah will be hanging around here possibly. And then Sharon might, if you want to take something down to the trailer, way down there and get some steps in, Sharon might be down there telling you where to put things. Yeah. And then we'll see you on Tuesday. And then if if you're out of town for the holidays, the next time we'll be here is sometime in January. January 12th. So thank you so much for laughing. That's how I feel in my head, but no one else ever laughs. So it was good. Anyways, so 24th will be here, 4:30. Our service is at 5:15. And then on the 29th, which is fifth Sunday, we're gonna have kind of like a watch party, except it won't be streaming. But be on the lookout for those registrations, because we will be meeting in homes on the 29th for people who want a space to reflect on the year. And then again, we'll be back here on January 12th.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna read the benediction, and then you can respond in the parts.
Were you wanting me to laugh there?
Is there not a slide?
Oh, there it is. Yay. Okay, and
You will respond in the highlighted. Lord, you are ascending God. You sent your word to create. You sent Christ to reveal. You sent your spirit to empower. You sent your church to proclaim.
Send us from God to the earth. Lead us by your spirit and your word. As your people, we know how to hope. Find our peace when we make you know.
People of God, you are sent. Go in peace for peace.
Let's stand and sing that refrain one more time. Oh, come. Oh, come, let us adore